Kelley. This is the Real Talk Podcast, and this is Andrea Castinetti with me.
Good day.
How are you?
I'm well.
Good. How are the dogs?
Amazing. I have to go check on them shortly.
You know, how long have I worked with you here?
God, how long has it been?
It's October.
I was going to say almost a year, sort of.
Yeah. Still haven't seen the dogs.
They'll be here.
Yeah. You're so full.
Just, you have to, now that it's pool season, you have to come over.
You told us we were doing a transaction with Andrea, and we were sweetening the pie.
Oh, that was amazing.
Okay, we'll give you this much money, this term, and the dog will get this. And
You sweeten the pot with steaks for the dogs. And I was tempted, I was pushing, but
we didn't get the deal.
you didn't get it.
So.
But you got to work here. And now you get to see them firsthand in their...
Movie prize.
Exactly, consolation prize.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk in the industry about commissions, and who's going to get what.
Yep.
How many people are going to get pushed out of the industry, and the lazy ones will leave. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, in every industry, there's always changes.
Yep.
And in every industry, when there's changes, there will be people that don't understand it, don't follow it, don't grasp it, and then they leave the industry. You know, when the market changed, even before the whole commission talk, people were leaving the industry like crazy because it started to get a lot harder. You know, during COVID, I try to make a joke of it. I say, like, Brody and Tucker could have sold houses during COVID. You know, the market was insane. Houses were selling like crazy, and everyone thought they were, you know, the king and queen of the world. Then the market got tough, which, again, as we talk about, I'll bring up the graph again.
Oh, my God.
It is a roller coaster.
She hates my charts and graphs, but she references them all the time.
They are a great visual, like an EKG, if you don't happen to see his graph right now. But, you know, when you are self-employed, no matter what your industry is, it is a roller coaster. And I've always lived that. I've never had a stable 9-to-5 job, get paid, you know, every Friday or every other Friday. So for me, you know, you'll make a ton of money one month and no money for the next however many months. Like, I'm used to that. But the average person that gets into this business that has had a regular job, it's a tough pill to swallow. And that's why they leave. You know, the commission thing, you know, to me, it's business as usual. You change your way of thinking. And if you never change your way of thinking as a business owner, you're destined to fail anyways. You know, I mean, I think of all the different industries that I've been in over the past 20 plus years and how I've had to learn and evolve.
You got trouble holding down a job?
No, I've seen opportunity.
Okay.
I have been in great industries, and I realize in time that, you know, it is time to sell this business and move on to the next. This I will be until the day I die. So good luck when I'm 90 and I'm selling houses. So.
Well, there are people that do that to this day.
Oh, I'm well aware. I have a list of them.
You bought one with one.
I did. Hence, yeah, that's okay. Let's keep going. Plead the fifth. But it's true. If you don't evolve in any industry and you get stuck in one way of thinking and you can't think outside the box, this isn't going to be the industry for you because it's going to change again.
Right.
You know, and that's the bottom line. Commission talk, whatever. It's, you know.
So what do you see coming past all this BS, all this noise? Because I look at it as a lot of noise.
A ton of noise.
It's very real. It's going to impact people's lives. We're going to have new forms to fill out. I love forms.
Yep. Me too.
It feels like corporate America coming right here to Shrewsbury.
That's it.
You know, years ago, people were saying, we'll do virtual, you know, we'll have virtual tours. We'll have people walk around. That's still not cutting it.
And not in the least bit. We are a very hands-on industry. You have to get into properties. You have to, you know, I tell buyers all the time, seeing a property online, you need to get into that place. Pictures, as we know, with people, you can look at a picture online, then you see them in person, you're like, wait a minute, is this the same person?
Right.
Same with a house. You know, I can't tell you how many listings I've gone into, and kudos to the photographer, but I'm like, is this the same? I have to literally pull up the listing pictures, like, is this the same thing?
Right.
So, you know, buyers have to get into properties, see how, you know, they'll get that feeling, and I always say that to every buyer.
That's what I say is, you know, they'll say, how do I know when it's the right time?
Right.
Well, I can do charts and graphs. It doesn't matter. You've got to walk in. You've got to feel the experience.
100%.
You have to smell the building.
Right.
Because some buildings smell musty.
All of it.
To some people, that musty smell is grandma's house.
Right.
To other people, that's disgusting and it's mold.
Right, right.
It's horrible.
Exactly. You have to visualize you there or whoever else is going to be there. And you have to make sure the space works. I'm not going to go into some condo with two, 90-pound golden retrievers in this tiny little condo with no outdoor space. That's not something that I'm, no matter how gorgeous it is, that would never be an opportunity for me.
Right.
I'm going to go into a single family home with no neighbors and tons of space for the dogs to run and play. That's my focus. And if you have a family, that's one thing. If you're a single person, I mean, there's a house for everybody, and there's a reason people are searching for houses, and they just have to find the right one. Like a partner. You gotta sometimes kiss a lot of frogs, right? Is that the saying?
Yeah.
What's the toad saying?
No, it's kissing frogs.
I mean, I may have kissed a few frogs in my day.
Really?
Yeah, and it happens. We're not gonna go there, but
Okay, yeah. We'll go to a different channel for that story.
Exactly. Follow us. That's it.
I'm going to have you in tears.
Okay. I mean, we wouldn't be surprised.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
When people say to you, how do I make the decision?
Yep.
What do you walk them through the analyticals first? The dollars, the cents, the terms, the location, or do you go to the feel?
First, I tell them it's not my decision. So we get into this property and we go room to room and we talk about what works, what doesn't work. We talk about pricing. We talk about how long they're planning on being there. We talk about things that might need to be done there. Is there going to be a return on their investment down the road? If they're only planning on being there for a year or so, we talk about the pros and cons. We talk about resale down the road. There's so many different factors that play into purchasing a home that it just all has to make sense. And sometimes people are very emotional and they get in and like, this is it. And then they just, they lose sight of everything else. But we, again, being unemotional, have to kind of reel them back in and then talk about, the good, bad, and the ugly.
I showed someone a house once, and it was a couple, and she says, I don't care what it takes.
Yeah.
This is the house.
Yep.
And I looked at her and I said, okay, I'm glad that you're encouraged, but we're not going to just write blank checks.
Right.
There's a point where it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Did they buy the house? No, they bought a different house.
Okay.
But it was a conversation where it's like, let's not just talk to this. Let's talk about everything else that goes with it.
Right. And you're not one of those agents just looking to make a commission, which I appreciate and I respect. And buyers will respect that as well. Because there are agents, unfortunately, out there that don't give one crap about anything except closing a deal. And that's not how we are over here.
Sue, my colleague, Sue and I argue about that sometimes because I'll walk into a house and go through it. And if it has so many things, in my words, wrong with it.
Yep.
I will say to them, I will not write an offer on this unless you beat me.
Right.
And so we'll say, oh, you shouldn't say that because you're. I said, no, so that's how I feel.
Right.
And, there was one time I had a buyer that, wanted that house. And I
Yep.
said, no, it's not the right. And then during the home inspection,
Yeah.
it was like the guy took the house and ran it through the Vegematic. I mean,
Yeah.
It was just things falling to the ground. And the buyer got angry with me. Why did you let me do this?
Yeah.
And I said, I seem to remember that this was not the house.
Right.
You wanted this house because it was big.
Yep.
And it was big. But it had been added on to 1,000 times and
Yeah.
nothing flowed. It was
Piece them
not
together. Yeah.
it was the house of Jackbo.
Yeah.
And I said, you wanted a big house, and that was your priority.
Yep.
But this is not a proper house for a man of your stature.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a good one. Was he like, wait a minute?
He calmed down.
Yep.
We went out that afternoon and showed him a house that he bought.
Perfect.
But it was a tough situation because he was spending money on a home inspection. It's like, I don't think you should do this.
Right. And that's the point. It's you don't want your client coming back to you 2-3 years down the road saying, why the hell did you let me buy this place? It's a dump. And, now I'm getting screwed. Because if you make a wrong investment in real estate, I mean, that can cripple you.
No question about it.
So, it's.
Another example.
Yeah.
This guy liked this house and had his home inspector go through it.
Yep.
And the home inspector gave it a thumbs up.
Okay.
And I sat there with him and I said, no.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know what your guy's looking at. I'm not questioning his capabilities, although I guess I was.
Yep.
But like the roof was like this. And I said, why is that?
Right.
And I said, I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's because there's an addition that went on here and they didn't join it up well. And so he thought about that. And I had one of my inspectors come in.
Okay.
And the guy says, this house is pulling apart.
Imagine. Oh,
No,
my.
but and he went and bought new construction. And it was funny because he says, I want your guy to do the inspection.
Yeah.
You know, okay. And he bought the house. It was wonderful. But, you know, you see things like that. And I am not a home inspector. I'm not a structural guy.
However.
But you see a house where the
Right.
roof looks like this.
Right. But that's again where trusted professionals come into play, and we tout that all the time. You're a realtor, you're a mortgage broker, you're a home inspector, you're an attorney. Like, we all work harmoniously, hopefully together, for the best interest of the client.
Right.
And that's why, you know, our referral partners are crucial. And, you know, the names that we give out, we take very seriously. And I make that clear with anyone that I refer out to.
Good.
Contractors as well.
Andrea, thanks for joining in.
You're welcome. Have a
I
great day.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
And you need to